Hey team, welcome to the first ever Monday Deep Dive. The point of this video is quite simple. It's to help you understand what the best stocks this week are, what the software is recommending and what I think on those stocks and how you should be trading it to give you an understanding, some validation, and maybe help you place the right trades. I know a lot of people who are using the software, and yet even though it's very simple to use and very straightforward, it gives you the game plan and tells you what stocks are going to break out, they still want some extra help, and that's what this video is for. I will be using the software to trade my own six-figure portfolio, and so you get to watch the whole process, what trades I'm placing, what trades I'm exiting, what I'm looking at, and why. All those thoughts are shared right here. Now, the first Monday I'm doing this just so happens to be President's Day, so the market is closed, but I'm still going to do what a normal setup would look like so you guys can understand what that is. First off, we're going to dissect the overall market. What is the overall market doing? Then we're going to look at the top stocks for this week. Then we're going to be looking at my portfolio. What am I doing with it and why? So let's jump into the first part. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to jump into the overall market. So I'm going to get an understanding from a trend perspective. We can see here that we're neutral. We have our last closing trend score of 85. And so again, what it's saying is the market is neutral. The market's neutral. That means we're not going to be expecting very large moves in individual stocks this week. We're looking for a market that is trending up, right? If the S&P 500 gets higher, then we'll be seeing for individual stocks to break out as well. Here's the same exact thing with the same trending chart just on my Thinkorswim platform. You can see here that SPY, if we zoom in, is right here underneath the band. So what we're looking at for this week is if SPY breaks above 409.30 or somewhere in this level, if SPY breaks above this, then we'll see a nice run up to retest 418. Then if we retest 418 and break above 418, then we'll eventually reach 454, right? We'll start doing that. Now, why is that the case, or why am I thinking that? Well, because if we look over what's going on here, we've been downtrending. We've been trying to hold above this gray line, which is the 208 moving average. It's just been holding down the S&P 500. Now we're starting to actually push above it, not only push above it, but hold above it. And so we're holding above all these really strong trending indicators saying, hey, the market is building up some momentum, building up some strength, and we're not yet crashing because it's dipping down, but it's still showing a small sign of a recovery. Anyways, what we're looking at here is to get a break above 415, 413. If we break above this week, we'll see individual stocks make a strong move as well. So that is my idea on the S&P 500. I personally own 210 shares of SPY, and I'll be breaking down in my portfolio in the last section of this video what exactly I'm doing with that and why. So that is my overall view of the market. If we stay neutral, if we stay within 408 and 378, then the rest of the market will be very flat as well. If we break above here, then the rest of the market will be very strong. And then again, if we break down here, then we'll be looking to make money to the downside. So that's what the overall market is showing. Now let's get rid of the platform real quick and let's look into our top stocks for this week. Given that we had the idea that the market will probably be flat until we break above 415. So that is what we'll be watching here in the S&P 500. Anyways, we have all these stocks here that we can look at. None of these stocks are quite interesting to me right now, and that's mainly because the market is closed. And so again, these could change overnight because again, the market's going to open in the morning, it's going to open in the evening, and so we're going to have a lot of trading activity. So we could assess these stocks right now, but there's going to be a lot going to change before Tuesday morning when the market actually opens. So for trading, so that's exactly what's going to go on. So I'm just going to ignore these stocks. But in a typical Monday deep dive, we're going to go into each one of these stocks and assess what's going on with them. Now again, now the final section of this Monday deep dive is what am I doing in my own portfolio? What am I looking at? So again, if we pull this up here, I have 210 shares of SPY, and this is my game plan for it. I want to keep this, the 210 shares, that is my long-term position, that's my long-term hold. And I am a swing trader by nature, but I also know the importance of long-term investing, putting your money in safe ETFs that are well diversified, that are going to grow over time. And so because I'm young, I have a lot of my money, 210 shares in the S&P 500. And so again, what I learned recently is that I can beat the average market return while still holding this. So again, for my investing portfolio side, I also have a swing trading portion of that account that I'll be talking about here soon. On SPY for this long term, what I do want to show you here is in the software. Now, the software, I was hoping to launch it by the release of this video, but it wasn't able to. But I'm working on an options edition in the software. And the reason why it's not released yet is quite simple. Again, I want to make sure that's accurate and as profitable as possible. And I'm not going to release something that's half done just to get it out there. Again, I value the accuracy of what I release. Anyways, what you can see here is it gives you a covered call strategy approach. It gives you the details behind it, selling puts if you want to do that, credit spreads if you want to do that, and the one that I'm still need to work on is buying options. So again, you can see all those breakdowns for any individual stock you want to look at. Now again, what is the average market return if I hold the S&P 500 in my long-term portfolio? It's roughly an 8 to 9% return a year. Well, guess what? I can get an 11% return a year, which means I can increase my return by 2 to 3% a year quite safely, doing so at a 95% accuracy rating. That's insane. And this is all done by using a covered call strategy based on using the covered call when the stock is trending. If it's above the green line, we're going to be on covered calls. If it's in the middle, we'll be on covered calls. Here, we're going to stay out of the market because that's when it's crashing. So if we do that type of strategy, you can read more about it here. Again, we'll be looking at this. So I'll be placing covered call strategies on SPY using the exact same setup that you see here. So on Tuesday morning, I will go into the software and place exactly as I see in the software because I trust it and it works. You can see here. And so that's the process I will be using. Once those shares get called away from me on a covered call, then again, we'll do another Monday deep dive and I'll talk about where I'm putting that money because eventually these shares will get called away, but hopefully I get to make some income in the process. Now again, I have roughly $20,000 in my swing trading portfolio that I just used to swing trade. And so with that, I will be using a credit spread strategy. This is the same thing. And you can see here on the stock trade, the software shows you where the best time to buy is. We'll be doing that same type of approach, but with credit spreads instead. And so again, the reason being is because I know the yearly return is going to give me a way higher return. But again, you want to make sure that you understand credit spreads fully because, again, your max loss can be quite large. So anyways, you can see here that at the moment you sell a put credit spread, here's your expiration. You're going to sell the first one, buy the next one on your puts. And again, you can see all that there. Now, again, if you want to know the history behind that, you can, as always, go to the trade history and it will show you everything that you need to know. So trade history, swing trade alerts, the credit spread alert history, selling put alert history, and the covered call alert history. So all this is here, and this is a part of the new update that's being released. But I wanted to walk you through my portfolio right now. My long-term portfolio is in the S&P 500. Right now, I have roughly $20,000 in cash for my swing trading portfolio, but I'm going to start taking advantage of credit spreads as I can take advantage of that. I can use roughly 10% of my swing, or 10 to 20% of my swing trading portfolio on credit spreads and should be able to generate a nice return, right? If I use 10 to 20% of my swing trading account, let's go back here. If I use 10 to 20% of my swing trading account, so that's roughly going to be 8,000. But again, we also need to adjust this yearly return. So the yearly return is 772%. But if I use roughly 10% of that, then again, I'll only be making roughly 77% a year. But again, this is a high risk, high reward trade. That's why I'm doing a small portion of it. But still, a 77% return on 10% of my portfolio doesn't sound bad at all. So that's exactly what's going on there. Anyways, guys, this is the market breakdown. This is the first ever Monday deep dive. These will typically be longer, more in depth, more going over the alerts in the software, but because it's President's Day and the market is closed, I didn't really want to cover much. Anyways, that is also a hindsight of the update coming. Should be released Monday night, if not Tuesday morning. But again, you should monitor your email for more updates on that. All right, guys, if you want to try this software for yourself and for some reason you're watching this video but you're not a member yet, click the link below. You can start a free trial or join now. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions for next week's Monday deep dive, send them to the support request or put in the comments section below. All right, guys, see you next week.